Hey, friends. I am one very short night of sleep away from traveling up to northern Michigan, which is a place has a very special place in my heart since childhood. And I am thoroughly exhausted, completely wiped out. It's been a relentless period of time, and I think something that I've been observing in myself is that I don't necessarily notice that until it really kind of goes over the limit. It's like I don't observe my own fatigue until it gets pretty pronounced. And I think um, we are going on vacation, but as we all know, vacation with a dog and a child is not not all about lying around and relaxing. But I'm actually realizing that I live in a mode that is essentially non-stop, never ever stopping. I don't actually know what vacation is. I don't really do it. There's very little distinction between being on a break and being in my normal life in terms of how I approach each day and approach the tasks. And I think, there's an aspect to that I am that I in some ways think, I've always felt like when I've heard great teachers speak, most of them describe an experience that's kind of similar to that. They describe an experience of really never being off, really never being there's no days off. And I admire that. I think that's absolutely um, it makes sense to me that if your job is to be present, then when are you gonna like take breaks from being present? That's not really a thing, and and that's not really restful. And so there's a way in which I've embraced this and kind of allowed myself to just that's the way it is, be that way. I think what I'm recognizing is that the how I use my energy is something I do need to pay attention to because it's something that can deplete. And if I, as much as I want to live each moment and each day to the fullest, I also want to be just a little bit conscious of my interior state. And it's maybe, in some ways, maybe it's like it's worth it. I hear Sadhguru speak about periods of his life where he has exerted phenomenal amounts of energy and come away quite depleted and needed to heal, needed to recover. He may be going through one of those episodes right now. Actually, I've seen some stuff recently online, and I'm not. I'm not. I am I comparing myself to Sadhguru? I don't know if that's appropriate. But what his example reveals is that you you make a decision. You make a decision to invest your energy, and sometimes it's gonna deplete you a little bit. Like it's gonna deplete. It's gonna take you over the limit, and you may really have to recover. And easiest way to do that is to get sick, hoping to not get sick. But I think maybe for myself, maybe the main thing that I'm trying to, the reason why I'm doing a post about it and it's addressing it out loud is because it's something I don't do that consciously. As I said, I let my investment of energy, I let my sort of enthusiasm and my all in drive for life kind of take me a little too far before I catch myself. And by and large, I look at what I'm doing and I'm like, I'm making good investments with my time and energy. I'm making solid investments that I stand behind. But I also want to be able to sustain those investments, and I want to be able to build over time. I want to be able to step back and regard things, see where I want to go, have a little bit of breathing room. And I think I'm lacking that. That I'm definitely not feeling. So there's just a step that's required. There's just a step that's required, and maybe going on this vacation to literally my like childhood fantasy environment is the right way to do that. Is a good way to go about that, or at least a change of context that could kind of help that happen. If I do it consciously, I'm marking it right before we depart, hoping that I can go about this a little bit consciously, and give myself some grace. I used to have a coach who talked about giving yourself grace and giving other people grace, and I like that word because it's a combination of empathy and love and forgiveness and just generosity. It's like being generous with yourself. Be generous with yourself. That's the message that's coming through, because if enthusiastic sort of energy exertion becomes habitual and therefore compulsive rather than conscious, well, now it's kind of not that great anymore. It's not that it's a horrible thing. It's anytime things get compulsive, they sort of tend to go a little bit off the rails. And I think maybe that's kind of what's happened to me. I've missed the point where I went a little too far, and I'm just realizing, okay, I really actually need to contain, relax, rejuvenate, breathe. One of the things that Northern Michigan always does for me is it gives me a chance to sort of drink the energy of the land. It's a very rejuvenating place. So that's something that I look forward to. So that's where I am today, people. I will see you tomorrow from another part of the country. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.